too different. There are some differences, of course, but that fifth step is what makes it more Buddhist. So you don't find that in the other techniques. Because often it's demons, it's thoughts, challenges, lack of resolved feelings or conflict in us that eat away at us when we're trying to sit and meditate. See? So if you can do a session of feeding your demons and then sit, there's this feeling of, just arriving. You just arrive. It's a naturalness. Perhaps more access to ease, quietude. So we have about 10 minutes till the end of class, and I would love to open it up to you to ask or share. Sometimes it can be nice to share about your process by talking about the drawing. You don't even have to say exactly what demon or issue you were working with. You could say, this is what came to me, this is what appeared, and you could share, you could show your drawing. It's a little bit like show and tell, but it's really fun. A lot. We like to see your drawings. Sometimes I get to do it with you, so I did a little drawing. I really enjoyed that. Yes.
I had ideas about issues and about what I might encounter going in, and they were not at all what I encountered. And I don't know what this creature means. I don't know what. I didn't know while it was happening. I'm thinking of it now, and it's making sense. But it really was just a bodily feeling, and an impression that came out of that.
So you started with a feeling in the body, not like an issue that you knew about.
No, I had issues, but they were not what was
what wanted to. Yeah. Good. You trusted the process. I love that. But now you feel that it's starting to make sense, kind of being on the other end of it. You can reflect back.
Entirely, no. There are things that make sense, but it doesn't want to lie flat.
Good. Don't make it. Yeah, don't make it. So sometimes these need to keep living in us longer.
I'm fine with that. I don't need to figure out what it means.
Great. Yeah, thank you for sharing. It's nice to be caught off. I think I heard you sort of let out a sound at a certain point where I think it was, maybe it wasn't you, but I said that moment where you look at your normal self. What does your normal self look like from the demon's point of view?
I think I laughed.
You laughed. I loved that. That was really sweet. Yeah, that was great. That's a moment there. That can be a very beautiful moment or revealing moment, Yeah. Okay.
Recognition.
A recognition. Nice. Thank you. Yes.
I had something and I kept trying to get away from it. It was kind of the opposite, where I was like, I know what it is. And then I was like, are you sure? Maybe not. Maybe it's this, maybe it's that. And it just like kept coming back. And it felt kind of big and hairy and dark and hard. And it just turned out to be so easy. And the whole process was so simple. Even the ally just had one answer to all the questions. And that was such a surprise because I was just like, oh shit.
Yeah.
And then it's really surprising.
Yes. That's wonderful. That's sweet when that happens. And often people say, I'm not sure this is exactly what you were saying, but we go in expecting it's going to be hard or maybe look like a big monstrous thing, but then we discover it's actually simpler or more tender, more of a vulnerable thing. Like the underbelly is a lot softer. And then we get to relate to that and embody that and speak as that.
It was so weird. I thought, like, it felt like it was going to be so difficult to kind of tackle that. Yeah. And it just was not.
Yeah. Good. Well, it'll be interesting to see how this lives in you in the coming days too. When you, yeah, you should keep drawing when you get home or tomorrow. Sometimes we can come back and do this, feed the demon many, many times, not just one time. But if you do multiple sits with a particular theme or issue, again, come fresh to it. Don't assume it's going to look or feel the same the next time. Let it have a life of its own. Let it change. You might work with the same issue, but it might start off, you might feel it in a different part of the body even. Step one might be different. And that cascades into a whole unique session compared to what it was the first time. Yes.
I was very pleasantly surprised that this worked for me because I had a lot of limiting beliefs when we were starting that my intellectual mind would get in the way, that I would be purposefully visualizing things, and not be able to stay with the felt experience, and that I was surprised that I was able to stay with the felt experience and let my subconscious kind of lead the way. And yeah, I was honestly kind of shocked that it worked for me. So that's really nice.
Yeah. Again, some nice surprises happening a lot in this space. Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
I really.
Oh wait, sorry. Yeah, there's a girl. Okay, why don't you go? And then I didn't even see your hand. Yeah, you and you.
I really struggled with the feeding.
Okay.
I think I have a literal life experience of feeding children, and so
feeding children.
Of nursing children.
Nursing children, yes.
And so I think that was traumatic.
Okay.
So that was really hard.
You mean the nursing has been traumatic?
Yes.
Okay.
And that's in the past now, but just I think coming back to that.
Yeah.
But I got through it with the technique that I use in when I'm having a migraine, which is, and I wanted to ask you because it feels like a little bit of a cheat, but I feel like it comes back around to step 5 in a really nice way, which is I just dissolved myself.
Yeah.
And let the demon absorb me and breathe me in.
Yeah.
So I feel like we kind of did in reverse what happens in step 5. So I'm hoping that means that step 5, when I call my ally back to me, I won't be triggered, but that it will feel more accessible to me, because that process of dissolving the self with the ally when you're invoking them, I don't know if you literally do this, is a technique that is already a part of my visualization and coping.
Yes, my darling, you did it right. I think you don't even realize that you did it right. That there's in the feeding your demons, you have an option of either, the first thing I say is either imagine that you dissolve your body into nectar and you feed that to the demon. And that's what you did. Or imagine that you create an infinite supply of nectar from your body and that flows to the demon. So maybe you didn't hear that.
This was
or
into air, kind of
that's okay. It could be.
I don't know why.
Not into nectar.
Not liquid, not into nectar.
Doesn't need to be liquid.
I don't know, a gas.
Yes, that doesn't need to be. It doesn't.
Very minutia here.
No, it's perfect. It's perfect. Stop it. It's perfect. It doesn't. I'm sorry if I created the illusion that it had to be liquid. It doesn't. It can be anything. It can be gas. It can be ice cream. It can be rain clouds. It can be, sometimes it's certain kind of food. It can really, the nectar can take any form. So maybe I didn't take the time to explain that clearly. But no, you did. It's just, so what you did was chud. You did basically, like, the original practice is dissolving the body and then feeding that to the 10,000 souls, you know? It's like being willing to offer that. But it's not, what's that we do in the chud practice is more, in a sense, shamanic, because you imagine, before you feed your body, you imagine that you eject your consciousness out through the crown of the head and you become a blue-black dakini, truma, and you feed, you invite all beings to the feast. And it's the old corpse that used to be your home, but you're not in it anymore, that then as truma, you take and you put it in a cauldron and you purify it. And you turn that into nectar and you feed that nectar to the Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, protectors, disease-bearing beings, obstacle makers, debt holders, and then all the other beings of the 6 realms. But the nectar can take whatever form beings need. It can be ether, it can be food, it can be fluid, it can be lollipops. So yes, that's okay. You don't have to go all the way to the 5th step and then come back and do it. Like, you can dissolve the body into whatever comes to you and then feed that to the demon till complete satisfaction is reached. Okay? Yeah. And working with your own circumstances is really good. Like, if there's some people don't want to dissolve their body. So it's beautiful that you went right there and that's what works with you. Sometimes people are like, oh, hell no, I'm not going to dissolve my body. I've already given enough of myself. So for those folks, like the middle school teachers in the room, you can imagine that you create an infinite supply of nectar from the body and just feed it. One time I had a hydraulic hose, one of those old hoses. It doesn't have to be your body that's feeding it. Yeah. Okay. So we are at time. So thank you, everybody. I hope that this was fruitful and beneficial for you in some way. My mission is to share the Dharma and to help as many beings as I can. And I find this technique has helped me a lot, and I hope it helps you too. We do this about once a quarter. In this class, this is my usual Tuesday night slot. So if you haven't come before, you're welcome to come back. We meditate, we chant, and we talk Dharma and share. And all of you are welcome. It's a drop-in basis, and it's a wonderful time. It's called Releasing into Presence. So I guide you in different doorways, different ways to do that. And the usual Tuesday nights are just a half hour shorter. It's 7 to 8:30. We don't go until 9. We only go until 9 on these nights because it takes this time. We need this time. All right, so take care, everybody. Please put your art supplies back where you found it. And it's really helpful if you can also put your zafu and zabuton, maybe stack it up. Hannah, are you in the room? Can you help direct people? Do we have a volunteer in the room? Yeah, are you volunteering? Yeah. What would you like people to do with the cushions?
The cushions go underneath, and then or I guess
the zafus go underneath. Zabuton's on top, but we have the art supplies on top a lot now, so you can just stack them. So just stack them next to the upper.